My family's entitlement over our uncle's inheritance. Hey, everyone. I'm Alex, a 24-year-old guy who's always been a bit of an outsider in my family. Not because I'm struggling, my life's actually pretty solid, but because I've never fit their mold of success. My dad, Richard, is a high-flying attorney who lives for courtrooms and contracts. My mom, Susan, used to be a nurse before retiring, always obsessed with keeping up appearances. Then there's my siblings, Mark, Daniel, and Claire. They're the family's golden trio. Mark runs a chain of fitness centers and loves boasting about his mission to promote health. Daniel's the tech whiz, always talking about his startup that's supposedly going to change the world. And Claire, she married into wealth. Her husband, James, is a corporate lawyer, and they're always sharing their perfect suburban life online with captions like "Work hard, love harder." Then there's me. I'm a welder and part-time outdoor guide. I love my work. Welding is an art that demands skill and creativity, and I've built a solid career, pulling in six figures some years depending on the projects. The guiding gig, that's just for fun, a way to share my passion for the outdoors. But to my family, I might as well be flipping burgers. My mom's always asking, when are you going to stop messing with metal and get a real job? As if I'm tinkering in a garage with scrap. Mark keeps trying to drag me into his fitness business, saying, if you want to do something meaningful, I could use someone to manage operations. No thanks. Daniel acts like I'm some kind of relic, saying, you should get into tech, Alex. That's where the real money is. Real money. My bank account begs to differ. I've stopped trying to explain myself. They've made up their minds, and I don't care enough to change them. I'm happy, successful in my own way, and I don't need their approval. The only person who ever got me was my great-uncle Henry. He was my grandfather's brother, and nothing like the rest of the family. Henry lived life on his own terms, caring about character over titles or degrees. He used to be a lawyer but gave it up to live in the countryside, building a cozy cabin on 70 acres of beautiful wilderness. We bonded over fishing and hiking. He taught me everything I know about tracking, respecting nature, and living authentically. He never looked down on my welding. It's honest work, he'd say. A man who can create with his hands will never go hungry. When Henry got diagnosed with cancer last year, it hit me hard. He'd always been so full of life. The family's reaction, barely a shrug. He's lived a long life, Claire said, as if that excused their indifference. No one visited, no one helped. They were too wrapped up in their own worlds. I couldn't stand seeing Henry alone, so I stepped up. I visited regularly, helped around the house, cooked meals, and kept him company. It wasn't easy. I had to cut back on work hours, but family takes care of family. Meanwhile, the rest of them acted like Henry didn't exist. Claire and James were planning their next big trip to the coast. Mark was opening another fitness center. Daniel was buried in some new app. My parents? They barely asked about Henry, and when they did, it felt like a formality. Their indifference only pushed me to do more. Henry deserved better than being forgotten by the people he'd loved. One evening, after helping Henry with dinner, he asked, is this hurting you, Alex? Taking care of me, I mean. I told him the truth. I've cut back on work, but it's fine. Your family, Henry. I want to be here. He nodded, thoughtful. You've got a good heart, kid. Don't let them take that from you. I didn't fully get what he meant then, but I would soon. As Henry's health declined, my family's absence became glaring. They treated him like he was already gone. I'm sure Alex has it handled, Claire said when I asked if she'd visit for Henry's 80th birthday. Daniel ignored my group text, Mark's excuse. I'm swamped with the new fitness center. They weren't swamped, they were selfish. Henry never complained, but I saw the disappointment in his eyes when I mentioned the family. They're busy, he'd say, covering for them. One evening, he got serious. Taking care of me like this, how much is it costing you? I shrugged. Fewer hours, but it's the least I can do. He looked unconvinced. You've got a good heart, Alex. I don't want you to feel cheated because you're the only one who cares. That hit me. I wasn't doing this for a reward. I loved Henry. I don't feel cheated, I said. I'm grateful for this time with you. They're the ones who'll regret it. A week later, Henry dropped a bombshell. While we were sorting through old photos and mementos, he asked me to grab an envelope from his desk. He held it for a moment before saying, Alex, I've changed my will. I thought he meant adding a charity. He was big on wildlife preservation and veteran causes. But then he looked me in the eye and said, I want you to have the cabin and $200,000 to fix it up. The rest goes to charity. I was floored. Why? I asked. Because you've been here, day in and day out, while the rest couldn't even call. You're the only one who cares, Alex. I want you to have a real start, something that's yours. I tried to protest, but he was dead serious. Just promise me you'll take care of the place and not let them take it from you. It didn't take long for the family to start sniffing around. They didn't know about the will, but they sensed something. Mark called one evening, all casual. Hey, Alex, how's Henry doing? I kept it short. Hanging in there. Then he got to it. So, when Henry, passes, what's happening with the cabin? It'd be cool to keep it in the family, maybe fix it up together. By together, he meant me doing the work. I played dumb. Not sure. Why? He backpedaled fast. The next day, Claire texted, wouldn't it be amazing if we turned Henry's cabin into a family retreat? The kids would love it. Claire doesn't even have kids, and the last time she visited, she complained about the bugs. Now it was her dream spot. I did not respond. Daniel started dropping hints in the family chat about how much land like Henry's was worth. Prime real estate, he said. Could sell for $1 million if developed right. They didn't care about Henry's legacy, just the money. As Henry got weaker, he warned me, they're going to come after you. I nodded. Let them try. He grinned. That's my boy. I knew they'd come for me, but I wasn't worried. Thanks to Henry, I had something they couldn't take, no matter how hard they tried. Henry passed away quietly, with me and his dog Rusty by his side. His last words were, don't let them ruin what's yours. That stuck with me. He'd spent his final months ensuring his legacy went to someone who'd honor it. The will reading was set for the following week, and I braced myself. My family had been circling like vultures, and they thought the feast was coming. At the reading, Henry's lawyer, Mr. Carter, greeted me with a knowing smile. Ready for this? He asked. Not really, I admitted. He chuckled. Henry made his decisions clear. No room for debate. My family trickled in, Mark in a flashy suit, Claire and James playing the grieving couple, Daniel looking bored, and my parents acting like they were above it all. Mr. Carter started with smaller items, Henry's fishing gear, old rifles, mementos. Then came the big news. To my great-nephew Alex, I leave my cabin and 70 acres, along with $200,000 to maintain it. Silence. Then Mark exploded. What? That can't be right, Claire sobbed. What about my kids? Henry wanted to support the next generation. I couldn't resist. Your kids aren't born yet, Claire. Daniel chimed in. This has to be fake. Henry wouldn't leave everything to one person. Mr. Carter calmly produced the notarized will, shutting them down. The rest of Henry's estate investments, savings went to charities. The room erupted. He was pressured, Claire wailed. My mom glared at me. What did you do, Alex? Manipulate him. I stayed calm. Henry made his choices because you didn't care about him. You cared about his money. The family's desperation wasn't just about the cabin's sentimental value. The land was prime for development near a growing tourist town, with stunning views and a creek. Word was it could fetch $2 million. They weren't seeing a cabin, they were seeing dollar signs. After the reading, they bombarded me with calls and texts. Mom, Claire, and Mark even showed up at the cabin while I was at work, caught on my doorbell camera trying to get in. I called Mom. What the hell were you doing at my house? She brushed it off. It's part of the family, Alex. You don't have the right to keep us out. I installed new locks, cameras, and no trespassing signs. Claire emailed, begging to buy the cabin for $100,000, way below its value. Mark spread rumors that I'd tricked Henry. Daniel went furthest, submitting a fake will that split the estate evenly. Henry's lawyer called. It's an obvious forgery. We filed a report. Daniel was charged with fraud, took a plea deal, and his startup tanked after investors bailed. I cut them all off, blocked their numbers, and made it clear I was done. They called me selfish, accused me of tearing the family apart, but I was just honoring Henry's wishes. The cabin's mine now, and I'm fixing it up, just like he wanted. Let them scheme. They're not getting a thing.